So this is a crossover, and if you have this device in your church and you don't know how to use it or what it is used for, give me 1 minute because I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know about this device. Now you might ask, why do I need a crossover in my church? The reason why you might need a crossover in your church is because certain speakers are meant to play certain frequencies. For example, your subwoofers or your bass speakers are meant to reproduce low frequencies, and your top speakers or your mid-range speakers or even your full-range speakers are meant to reproduce higher frequencies. And so if you don't have a crossover, your subwoofers can, sometimes try to play high frequencies which they are not meant to play. And so this crossover is used to separate each frequency and send them to various speakers in your church or your auditorium. Or we come here, this knob is your input knob. It is used to control the level of your signal coming to your crossover. So for example, if you have your crossover connected to your graphic equalizer or your mixer, this is the volume control which is used to control how much volume you want to enter into your crossover. This is the low cut button. What it does is, when it is pressed, it is going to cut or roll off all frequencies lower than 40 Hz. So let's say when you have a frequency like a deep rumble, bass which is in your mix and you don't want it inside your mix, or you want to remove that deep rumble bass so that your speakers don't get damaged, you can engage this low cut button to remove all those deep bass or rumbles or stage rumbles that is coming into your graphic EQ. Now this knob is your low mid knob. It is used to set your first crossover point. So this knob is what you use to set where your low frequency end and your mid frequency starts. So when you turn this knob to, let's say, 140, it means your low frequency will end at 140 and your mid frequency will continue. This is the mid high knob. It is used to set your second crossover point. It is used to determine where your mid frequency end and your high frequency start or continue. This knob is your low output. It is used to control how much low signal you want to send out to your bass speakers or your subwoofers when it is connected. This is the mid out knob. It is used to control the volume of the mid frequencies when you want to send it to your mid-range speakers or your full range speakers. This is the high mid knob. It basically does the same thing. It is used to control how much volume you want to send to your top speakers or tweeters. Now you can see these buttons here. This button is called the phase invert button. What it basically does is they are used to reverse or flip the phase or polarity of a signal. Sometimes you might find out that your bass or your subwoofers sound very weak. What you have to do is to just play a song with more bass in it and then press or switch this button off or on to see whether your bass sounds more fuller depending on what you hear. The same applies to the mid. Now that you have understood this part is basically the same thing. This is your channel 2. So this is where you plug your second set of speakers. Now when we move to the back panel, it is very easy. Inputs is where you plug